welcome back, everybody, for some members first content. This is going to be my Wednesday watch list for this upcoming New Comic Book Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. As I said, it's members first, so members will get this as soon as I'm done filming it and editing it, so most likely late Sunday night, and then everybody else will get it, Monday afternoon. One of the privileges of being a member. Again, thank you all for your support. And so these are the books that are coming out this upcoming week that I'm keeping an eye on based on some of the covers, some of the later prints that we're getting, and a bunch of the incentives. I check some of the prices, seeing what's pre-selling, and things I'm just curious about to see where they go once they release this Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday for the DC books and Wednesday for everything else. Hopefully you're still enjoying this series and you find this useful. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see what books I'm keeping my eye on this week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro and I will be right back. All right, so for this week, we are going to see what's on the Wednesday watch list. And this week, there are quite a few things. A bunch of covers that I like. Surprisingly, a lot of covers that I like. Will I be able to buy them all? Probably not. So I'm going to have to make some tough choices when I'm checking that wall on Wednesday. But before we get to that, let's start off with a fun little subsection that I dug out for this week. And it's, again, homage covers. We do have a few more. Just things that catch my eye when I see them. I go, oh, that's kind of cool. Doesn't mean I'm always going to buy them. Case in point, our first one is here, The Mighty Barbarians from Ablaze. This is number 2. Yes, it's an X-Men 1 homage. We've seen it before. Maybe I'll even do these one of these days as hidden gems as one of the homage covers. We did Action Comics 1. I got another one planned coming up soon. Maybe we'll do X-Men 1 one of these days. But again, it's something that caught my eye. It's not terrible. It's not great either. I'm going to be honest. It's okay. It's serviceable. It matches up pretty well. I like it when the trade dress matches, but I think the Mighty Barbarians is such a long title that it overtakes the X-Men. Like it just doesn't work as a 1-for-1. But that all said, well, good try. But I'm probably not going to pick this one up. This one, I thought the Spider-Man 7 one wasn't great. I don't like this one either. I'm just not a Rob guy, I guess. But Fantastic Four number 7, the Omager variant. I don't know what's with the Omager. Like, why do we need the R there? Like, what is that all about? All I know is this ain't great. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's Deadpool, but all the characters look stiff. I don't like this. I just don't. I'm not getting this one. I got the Secret Wars 8 just out of like habit. This one, even though it's a Fantastic 452, I just don't think I'm getting this one. I think I'm gonna let this one just lie on the shelf. Like I said, just not a Rob fan. I mean, hey, take it for that for what it is. I know he might have his fans out there still. It's just not for me. That said, he is loosely involved in our next and last one for this segment too, and this is a 1 in 10. So I would have probably saved this for the incentive portion, but it fit this section a little better. So let's look at this. Red Room. It's Ed Piskor cover or Ed Piskor book. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good Youngblood homage. That said, I'm not a big Youngblood fan, so I don't feel the need to go and grab this one. And it's also a 1 in 10, so it could be a little tougher to go and pick up because I don't know a lot of shops that be ordering 10 copies of Red Room, but Red Room Crypto Killers. But hey, it's out there if you're interested. I think, like I said, I think it's a pretty good 1-for-1. It represents his style. It's pretty well aping the art of Rob Liefeld from back in the day. Well, I shouldn't say back in the day. Even today, it still kind of looks the same. But yeah, so it's a pretty good example of an homage there. But yeah, I'm still probably not going to get this one. But it's more availability. I don't know if any shops near me are going to have this one. I'm not going to go hunting and chasing this one down online. So just sharing it with you guys because I thought it was kind of interesting to see all these homages this week. But once again, to be fair, I'm probably not getting any of those, but they're on my watch list because I was kind of curious. And I'm always curious what things may heat up. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean somebody out there, a bunch of you out there might like it, and these books might heat up. And then come, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm kicking myself for not picking any of these up. Yeah. It happens, but hey, we all got to draw the line somewhere, right? Because like I said, there are a lot of covers this week that I like, a lot of them. All right, let's get started. We're going to start off with Marvel for now. Kicking it off with a new Avengers. Avengers 1, A lot of covers on this book. We'll get to some of them later when we hit some of the incentives because there's some of those. There's a regular cover and then virgin versions of, for the incentives. But this is the John Tyler Christopher negative space variant for Avengers 1. I did pre-order one of these. I like these negative space covers. I think this is a good one. And I'm happy to get it. I'm also happy that it's just a regular variant. This is not a high ratio incentive. Didn't have to pay an upcharge. I don't have to pay even a store variant fee. It's just regular cover variant price. I like that. I'm fine that if this doesn't go up in value. I just wanted a copy because I think the art is cool and I want it in my collection. That's all. So I'm going to be grabbing this one because, like I said, I already pre-ordered one. Another book that we got here is Spider-Man Dark Genesis, right? Spider-Man 2099. I still like these borders. Granted, I think this is Daredevil 2099 that we're getting spotlighted here on the cover, where we had Blade and showing up in the last issue. I just kind of like. I think it's fun to do the callback for the 2099 border. So I always like grabbing these. So plus, I'm kind of enjoying the story. It's not great, it's not terrible, but it's just entertaining enough that it's keeping my interest. So I'm probably going to keep picking this up, and I'm going to be picking up these covers because, like I said, these are the ones that I like. Multiple covers available on this title as well. Now, I'm sure you've also noticed over the last few weeks, at least, there have been some that actually were harder to get because they sold out kind of quickly. A lot of these Spider-Man variant covers, like where they're taking characters and making them spider characters, we do have a couple of more coming out this week that might get a little tough for you to grab at your shop. They might sell out kind of quickly, just because the art's kind of cool and just characters that you don't see very often. First one being Blade's daughter, so Bloodline. So Bloodline, daughter of Blade, number 4. There's this cover, which is actually pretty cool. I kind of like this. So this is the Spider-Verse variant by Betsy Cola. Kind of like it. I kind of like it. So we'll see. We'll see if I can grab this one or if this one's gonna be a tough one to find. And some of these things are like already sold out in some of the bigger shops as far as pre-orders go. That's not always an indicator of what's going to heat up on the market, but it is one of the signs. It's something to keep an eye on. But just because there's a lot of times where things do sell out, and then all of a sudden, once volumes hit shops, then they flood the market and it's not there anymore. So time will tell. But this is one I'm keeping an eye on because, like I said, I kind of like this art. Just like I like this next one here. I think this is Sharon Carter on Captain America Sentinel of Liberty number 12, another Spider-Verse variant. This one by Carlos Gomez. Looks like J. Scott Campbell. I like the upside down angle here. Looks pretty cool. So if I see this one, if I can grab it, I might. Just saying, it kind of caught my eye. But I'm telling you, we're gonna get into it. There's a lot of covers here. There's probably like 15 to 20 covers here that I'm like, ooh, these are all solid. At least in my opinion. Again, art is subjective. You guys might have different tastes than I do. So this list might not do a lot for you, but we'll see. Because I got one more spider variant for you, and this is this Colossus, which I think is also pretty cool with the extra mechanical arms. Looks almost like a video game kind of a style here. This is X-Force number 40, the Spider-Verse variant by Bjorn Barons, if I'm saying his name right. I just think it's cool. I just think it's kind of a cool look, and I think it's kind of a cool design for a spider character. So curious, not def. It's not. This is not a definite pickup. This is like one of those ones. I'll eyeball it and see how I feel with it in hand, because sometimes these images where they show this, it may not play as well once you get the trade dress and they got all this other junk thrown on there. It might not look as nice. It's again, it'll be a gut instinct when I see this on the shelf whether I'm getting this particular one. That said, we are getting Guardians 2 this week. Guardians issue 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Good film. I recommend you go see it if you haven't seen it already. I kind of want to go see it again. I was talking about it with some friends lately, and I just kind of want to go see it again. I don't know. But Guardians 2, the comic book, has a couple of covers that are just regular variants. These are not incentives, regular cover availability, like type variants. I just kind of like them, and I might even get both. I kind of dig this one here. I think this might be the cover A, and then there's like a cover C here, which is also pretty cool. They're both Gamora, but they're both pretty solid, if you ask me. So I kind of like both of these. Maybe. I mean, I might hold them up and debate which one to get if I had to pick and choose between one or two, but I kind of like both of them. That said, we also, apart from the Spider-Verse variants, we've been getting these icon variants from Marvel as well. And this week, we got a couple of other solid ones. Like last week, I think it was like Jubilee. It just wasn't really all that great. But I do like this Miles. That red helps make Miles pop. So I like this icon variant here for Miles, as well as this one for Psylocke. That was Miles 6, I believe, and we're going to see that book again later. But X-Men 22, another book we'll probably see again later once we get to the incentives. But this is an Icons variant for Psylocke. And again, I like it. Again, I think it's because of the background. I think the white background with her kind of getting pushed forward with that red X. I just like the layout of this. Barcode's a little distracting on the white here, but it's not terrible. So if I can get these, I might opt for these ones for my regular, because I'm regularly reading like a lot of these titles, so I got to pick a cover anyway just to get for my collection. That said, let's move on over to DC, and we're going to start in with a very interesting cover. This one I'm going to have to get just because I'm curious. And I'm also curious at how many of you are going to use it for its intended purpose. And that is Titans #1. It's a wraparound, but apparently these are perforated cards. Remember when they used to do this back in the day? They used to get free cards in some of these comics, free cards in some magazines, and they were perforated so you could just tear them off. I mean, granted, some people might use like a box cutter to do a little bit more of a solid job cutting these free. Maybe people even get these graded. I don't know what's going to happen with this book. Like, where does this one go? Do they get it graded like this as just as a comic? And then will other people get the cards graded individually? I don't know. This is going to be an interesting experiment, but I am curious about this book. So I'm probably going to at least grab one of these just so I have it, just because I kind of want it. Like I said, I'm kind of curious. So it's kind of a little bit of a throwback idea with these perforated cards, but you're getting 8 cards, which is also not bad on this cover. I mean, $6, and it's Titans 1. So I'm going to read Titans 1 anyway. So just want to keep an eye on, right? So with that, we are also getting a new Batman Brave and the Bold. And again, a lot of covers. A lot of covers. I think my favorite of the regular bunch here is this one. I think this is a Jimmy Chung one. Jim Chung one. I like it. I like the trade dress. I like how it's built into the picture. I like this. This is the one I'm probably going to get. Again, there's no real spec play here. It's just a cover that I like. Who knows? I mean, some of these could heat up if a lot of people feel the same way as me and these become harder to find because that's the go-to cover, but I don't think that's the case. I just think this is a case of this is solid cover art. I just kind of want this one when I get this for my collection. Now, Batgirls is winding down. I think we only got maybe one more issue left. I think it's going to end with like issue 19 or something like that. But issue 18 has this pretty sweet cover. It's almost one of those Nakayama type color bleeds where the characters like the same color as the background. It's very close to that, but it's not quite there. But still pretty solid cover. And again, this looks like one I might just grab just for the cover art alone. Speaking of which, another one is I'm gonna have to make some decisions on as far as cover goes is Superman. Superman 4. I've kind of liked the new Superman, the reboot. It's the first issue wasn't bad, second, so. Three, so we're getting issue 4 coming out. But what they are giving us a lot of options as far as covers go. And we're started off here. This is a pretty sweet Bizarro cover. Like, I don't know, something really cool about it. I like the textures of not only just his face, but also the costume. This is a pretty solid cover in and of itself, but it's not the only one. There's also other this is like the B variant as well. I think this B is this number 2 or 3. Again, DC's getting like Marvel. They're just making a ton of covers these days. I don't know how much I'm liking that, but it's tough to argue when they're giving you multiple decent covers like this. We got a Nathan Zerdy cover here with Livewire. Pretty solid on this one as well. And then they're also going to tease you a little bit with a couple of dollars more to go and pay for the foil. You know how I feel about DC foil, but this Lee Bermejo Superman is pretty nice. I don't know. I also kind of like this too. Again, I like the textures, I like the depth. Maybe the foil helps because of the color palette here, so that dull foil might work with this. But this also comes with an extra $2 cover, $2 price tag, so you got to factor that in as well. But that is what the cover price is. So I think it's $7.99. So just keep that in mind if you want to go and get this one. I'm going to play this one by ear, see how it looks. That said, let's keep rolling. Because I said there's a lot of covers this week. And then we also got some second prints to get to. But I'm still debating whether I'm going to do these DC Asian American Pacific Islander month variants for shorts. I probably will just kind of finish out the month. I did the Marvel ones. I probably should do the DC ones. I think they've only done in the last 2 years. But some of these current run are pretty good. Like this is actually pretty solid. This Frank Cho, I like this. I like this cover for Catwoman 55. So this might be one I want to go and grab. I don't know. I kind of like it. I like the background, like how it's kind of framed out there. Another couple of covers to consider. Still out of DC. I'm telling you, DC's been doing a good job here. And these are not ratios. These are all the regular variants you could probably get at your store, like the B's, C's, D's, etc. Terry Dodson's got one on Wonder Woman 799. Yes, we know we're getting a new Wonder Woman's daughter or something in issue 800. I think that's the news that was hitting like the last couple of weeks. So leading up to that, we're getting a couple of sweet covers in this Dodson, which I kind of like. Kind of a throwback. Looks like we got Steve Trevor there, with her. But the next one, this Raza cover, definitely gonna have to grab this one. Surprised this is not an incentive. There is an incentive for this book. There's actually two incentives. I'm only going to show you one of them. I'm surprised this wasn't the incentive. If this was the incentive, I would have probably paid up for whatever it would have cost me. But thankfully, this is only a $5.99 cover, so I'll probably just pay that because I like the art. I want it, so I'm going to pay to get it. Thankfully, I don't have to pay that incentive premium. All right, that's what DC's got. So those are all the DC books I got for you. I got a couple of more indies just to go through. Last Barbarian. I've talked about these Brian Haberlin covers. Another pair of good ones. I think he's got 4. Granted, one of the covers is like the virgin version of this. So there's really 3 different covers. I'm only going to show you 2 of them. I dig this. This is cover C for issue 4. And then this is a... Where's this cover C? There's another one of the covers. I don't know if it's cover C or cover B, but that armor and whatnot, that just looks cool. I just got a really cool look to it. I like it. So probably gonna end up getting both of these. I don't know. I just do. I just get extra covers if I like the art. That said, we also got a little monsters that kind of caught my eye. Something about this one, issue 13. And there's Dustin Nguyen, I think. She's upside down. It's creepy. Vampires, little monsters. I don't know. Something spooky about it, but I kind of dig it. I like the 3-color, black, white, and red start cover there. I like it. So good to see how this one looks, but I'm probably going to pick this one up. And then we are getting another Disney villain out of Dynamite that has a multitude of covers. So many covers and so many different versions with virgin versions, black and white versions, and yada, yada, yada. But a couple of them, got to look at them at least. Starting off with the J. Scott Campbell for Maleficent #1. Yeah, there's also a virgin version of this. We'll get to that later. I think it's a 1 in 10, but this is the $3.99 cover price one. So this is a cheap one to get if you want that Campbell art. It is pretty cool. I kind of like it. There's probably a little too much empty space for my taste on this one, but it's still not bad. The purple helps, but I still think I don't know. There's just something missing. Like I feel like we might need to zoom in a little bit more on this one. But that said, it still kind of caught my eye for this week. And there's a long pile of covers. We're almost 20 minutes into this, and I only got through the covers. But moving on, we're going to get to well, I got it listed as second print. We do have a third print this week, but most of these are second prints. So let's just get to them. I like looking at these later printings and second printing to see what's available. Get kind of curious of which ones might be interesting as far as new cover art goes, which ones might be harder to find and might be worth going and grabbing. That said, this is what we got for this week. We're going to start off on the indie side of things over at Image. We got Ambassadors 2, just a recolored version of one of the Ambassadors cover. Solid series. If you're not reading it, I'd say go check it out. It's kind of built to be adapted into a show. I could see it being a show. So we'll see what happens with that because it is a Mark Millar story and he does have a first look deal, I think, with Netflix. So maybe it's something they're going to make eventually. Much like Nemesis. So we got Nemesis Reloaded as well. Issue 3, second printing. Pretty cool cover. I like it. This one looks like that group cover that, actually, while I'm telling you, you'll see it later because this is going to actually air before Hidden Gems. But I got a group cover that looks like this coming your way later today. So with that said, let's move on. Again, I don't know what anything's going to happen with either of these. They just happen to be second prints. They're just kind of like recolored versions of the originals. But I know I've mentioned it before that Image has not really been overprinting, so there's not a lot of reorder opportunities. So that's why we're seeing a lot of later printings here with a lot of these Image books. So, there could be some collectability down the line. I don't know. We'll see. Right now, don't know where the appetite is, but we'll see how that translates as time goes on. If some of these series become more popular, were the harder to lower, or not, I'll say lower printed, the underprinted, I should say that, underprinted for the demand at the time. First prints start gathering value, or will some of these later prints also gain value because they're lesser printed? Who knows? Yeah, time will tell. But speaking of which, another series, seen multiple prints coming their way, No One. So we got a third print for No One #1, and we're getting a second print for No One #2. So it's okay. I think I read the first issue. I haven't read issue 2 yet, but Definitely what I'm going to try to read, try to catch up on this, but seems like an interesting tale. And a lot of people are liking the series. As you can see, they keep going back to print on these, so it is worth watching these. That said, in the Marvel side of things, for later printings go, these first two, I don't know who asked for these. I don't know why we need these, but we're getting them. We're getting a Doctor Strange #1 second print. Granted, that's a pretty cool cover. I kind of like it, but I don't know if we need a second print for this book because, as far as I know, there were plenty of these out there for the first print. Why do we need a second print of Doctor Strange 1? I don't know. I guess maybe there are. Maybe it was to sell out. I don't know. I thought I saw plenty. Just like I didn't think we needed more Planet of the Apes, but apparently we're getting Planet of the Apes #1 as a second print as well. Once again, pretty cool cover. Kind of like it, but I don't know if we need it. That said, I'm sure you guys have been waiting for this one. I know everybody's been waiting for this next one because it was listed for pre-sale the day the first print came out. Second prints were already out there for Spider-Man 7, like the day that book came out. So be mindful of this. Second print for Spider-Man #7, first appearance of Spider-Boy. Here's the regular cover. And yes, there is a 1 in 25 incentive cover, which is a virgin version of that secret cover from issue 7. Great. I know. I don't want to poo-poo on your parade if you're really big into Spider-Boy. I'm just reserving judgment until I know more about this character because right now it's a whole lot of flash and not a lot of substance. So let's see what happens once I hear more of this story. Because story is kind of important to me. But that said, I'd also be wary of this book. Let's check the prices. Pre-sale, like I said, this was listed for pre-sale like day the other book came out, the first print came out. But recent sales, as you can see by even these dates, May 12th, which is it's a couple days ago, about $50, 50 to $60 for this 1 in 25 on the second print. I don't know. I don't know. I'd be wary of this. I know Marvel second printings, but this one, I think they ordered this one pretty heavily. So be careful. That's all I'm saying. Asking prices, as you can see here, still in that same kind of $50 to $60 range. But look at how many of these listings. These aren't, I use this as an example, like this one here. Okay, you're going to be paying $45 to get that 1 in 25, but then they're throwing in 5 copies of that regular second print. Like there's going to be so many of that regular second print out there. I wouldn't touch it personally, unless you just want it because you need it for your collection. You just want that cover. Okay, fine, but please do not go investing in the second print. If you want to take a shot on the second print 1 in 25, that's one thing. The good gamble to take if you can get it at a good price. But still, I'm not playing this game personally. I'm sitting this out. I just don't care enough to need the second print. I got my first print of the book. That's fine. And like I said, I'm reserving judgment on the character until I see more, which is slowly trickling our way. But for now, I'm not going and heavily investing in Spider-Boy personally. You do what you want to do with your money. I'm just saying, be wary. There's nothing wrong with that. Just be cautious, but it's your money. That said, keep an eye on this one. A lot of them out there. The next one is another one. I don't know why we needed a second print for Jabba's Palace because there were a lot of these, and this is not a good cover. Not a good cover. So pay no mind to this. Don't touch this. But there is once again a second print, 1 in 25 for this, which they are redoing. Oh, I don't know how many times this cover's been reused, but they're reusing this again, virgin version of this Boba Fett cover. Pre-sales, couldn't find any pre-sales for now, but there are 2 listed ahead of Wednesday. They're looking for $230 and $260. Are they just fishing, or is this going to be really that hard to find? I don't know yet. I don't know. All I'm saying is there's only 2 listed. None have actually sold that I could find. So one would think if a lot of other shops had these coming or in hand, they would also be listing to get in on this train, potentially. But who knows? These could just be fishing prices. This is definitely one I'm just going to watch. I'm going to keep my eye on this to see what happens on Wednesday when copies hit people's hands and see what happens. Because I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of these high asks with no sales to back any of it up. But stranger things have happened. Once again, it's just second print of Jabba's palace. It wasn't like the be all end all book, and I think there were plenty of that first print out there. So I don't even know why we have a second print, let alone how many shops had such a demand after the fact that they ordered 25 copies of the second print to help meet that extra demand. I don't know. So could be a tough one, but that alone doesn't mean it needs to be valuable. Like there has to be a reason for it. So we'll see. Again, I'll keep an eye on it, but I just thought this was odd. I thought this was interesting. Speaking of which, it's already 25 minutes in. I wanted to be done in less than half an hour, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But we do have some incentives. You know, I like incentives. I like collecting variants, and I collecting retailer incentive variants. So this is something I always pay attention to. So for this week, let's hit it up with the low ratios first. Mentioned it earlier. There's a Virgin version, 1 in 10 of that Campbell Maleficent cover. Pretty cool. It's not really selling for much. This is selling for ratio or less. So $6 to $10. I've seen prices listed. You can still get these at a lot of shops and stores. So not saying there's any like real spec play here. It's just interesting. It's kind of a cool cover. If you're into that kind of thing, if you're into Campbell. So there you go. This one's kind of fun. It looks like a VHS cover. This one I think is already sold out at Midtown, so you got to check some of the other places, but it's also just a 1 in 10. I think there's copies available like on eBay and some other stores, etc. So don't go getting FOMO over it, but it is kind of a fun little book, and I'll look for it because I kind of like it. I like it when they do these VHS type covers. So I'll keep an eye out for that one. Another 1 in 10 I also kind of like, because I like the Sonic 1 in 10s. You guys know I like IDW 1 in 10 still, even though IDW doesn't have many properties anymore. But I do like this Sonic. It's got Shadow there. I think it's kind of cool. So keeping an eye on it, but don't know if there's going to really any play here apart from, I mean, Shadow's been around a while. So it's not just because it's a Shadow on the cover of the variant. It's going to make it valuable. Who knows? I mean, this is issue 60 after all. So pretty deep into the run. They're still doing 1 in 10s. Now, another one to keep an eye on, but I feel like the prices have already hit the ceiling. Like they've like out of the gate, just be based off of previous examples of these Doctor Who variants by Zenoscope. We got another one here. We got Bunny Man Here's a Boom. Yeah, pretty fun cover. You know, cute girl on the cover. Dr. Zeus. Yeah, it's this formula's worked for them before for these 1 in 10s, and this is a 1 in 10 for Man Goat and the Bunny Man 2023 special. It's worked for them before, but even at some of the online retailers like Midtown, for an example, I believe this was already listed for like $60. It's like $50 or $60 out of the gate for a 1 in 10. I don't know how much room you have on that if you spend that kind of money on this book, but we'll see what happens. None have pre-sold so far. On eBay at least, and there were a couple asking prices, asking $80 to $90. And like I said, I saw this in Midtown. I don't know if Midtown was sold out yet or not, but they were asking, like I said, over $50 for this thing. Don't know how much room there is on that at that price. But if you could find this in your shop for a 1 in 10, you could probably get yourself a nice quick little flip, because these things, they move pretty quickly. Some of them had jumped up to close to like $100. Other ones got tougher. There's been, I think, like 3 of these already, like a green eggs and ham, 1 fish, 2 fish, etc. But who knows where this one's going to go? Just if you find it at a decent price, ratio or less, sure, take a shot. But other than that, I'd be a little wary. Okay, we mentioned the Miles Icon book. Miles also has a 1 in 25 incentive. This is by what was the artist's name? It's the same Japanese artist that did the Yoda. I can't think of his name. I'm just drawing a blank right now, but still pretty cool. Pretty cool cover here with the Miles and the Carnage, etc. I kind of like it. See where this one goes. It's actually out there and it's available. It's a lot of places, but it's again ratio kind of like prices. Some pre-sales have been right around that $25 to $30 mark, so just inching above it. And even some of the askies are right there at 30, so they're just asking just a bit over ratio. Don't know there's gonna be a lot of room on this one either, but if you can find this for under ratio, could be a cool little book to pick up. Like I said, it's got cool art. I like it for the art alone, but still, personally, I'm shopping for like 10 to 15 bucks. Maybe I pick it up at that price, but if I miss it, I miss it. I won't be heartbroken. Same with the next book, which I kind of like. I kind of like the art here on Batgirls number 18. I showed you the other cover that was pretty cool. This one, I like the kind of graffiti design. It's kind of like an old school throwback, like a Beat Street kind of thing. I don't know. I like it. Bright colors here as well. 1 in 25 on this. Pre-sale prices. It's 18 bucks up to 50 bucks for 1 in 25. So just under ratio to double ratio. And then when you look at the asking prices, we're seeing some of the same kind of things where there's under ratio and over double ratio. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure this one will probably settle closer to ratio when it's all said and done, because otherwise those cheap copies would have been gone and we would already be talking about $40 copies if this were going to end up being something. But hey, who knows? Sometimes things have grown a little bit slower than that. But for this one, I'd say if it's cheap enough, it looks cool, grab it. But other than that, I don't know if this one's going to have any yeah, long-term value there as far as people going and chasing this down. Again, this title's winding down. I know the print run's probably dipping, so it could be harder to find. So it might have that going for it, but we'll see. That said, mentioned Wonder Woman. There's also 1 in 50, but this is the 1 in 25. I just like the art here. I think the art is pretty cool. I kind of like it, but this is already out there for ratio and less. So that's what this will probably end up costing, on Tuesday, since it's a DC book. Another book that I was kind of keeping an eye on, but it doesn't actually have any listings or sales, so I don't know what to do with it. But I do know a lot of people collect these Star Trek books. And I don't know how many shops are going to be ordering, though, Star Trek The Motion Picture Echoes, enough to get a 1 in 25. But it does have a pretty cool Leonard Nimoy cover. He's got his fans, but like I said, there's none listed on eBay. There are no sales, so I don't know where the market might be on this. Just one to watch to see how many shops actually have these. This could be a tough one to find down the line. So just kind of thought we'd throw it out there and kind of mention it in case you come across one, in your travels this week. Moving on to this issue 2 of Seasons Have Teeth, another Virgin cover. That's why I had to put the title there, because it's a Virgin cover. Otherwise, I won't know what the heck this is. Pretty cool, though. Kind of like this flaming creature. Not read this title yet, so I don't know what's going on in the guts of this thing. But this thing, kind of interesting. Pre-sales, much like that Batgirl, under ratio and double ratio. Asking prices, I only found one, and it's asking double ratio, a little over 50 bucks out of Canada. So this one could be tough to find. It's a boom book, but who knows? Who knows where this is going to find? I showed the issue 1 for this too, because it also had a pretty cool cover. That one's still out there. That one's settled in under ratio, so be mindful of that as well. I see copies of that 1 in 25 for number 1. That kind of, I think, had a similar vibe as far as pricing and pre-sales prices go. So be careful, because that number 1 is still out there now. You can get, I think, for like 18 bucks, so you can get it for under ratio. This might join it down the line. We'll see. We'll also see what happens with these Dark Ride books. People just keep buying these Dark Ride books. I think this is a 101 Dalmatians homage, right? That's what it looks like to me. Pretty fun, pretty cool. This is issue 6. I guess a new story arc is about to start. So we'll see what happens with this one. Inconsistent pricing so far. I don't know how many store exclusives. There were some on the others, so who knows where this one might end up going. But 40 bucks, 20 bucks, 50 bucks. Once again, a little under, up to double ratio. Mostly of the higher end, but there's still cheaper copies trickling out. And then right now I found one. I might be the same place out of Canada. 51 bucks is the one I found that's available right now for pre-sale. But let's see what happens on Wednesday. Let's see what happens on Wednesday for Dark Ride number 6. It's 1 in 25. Now, I mentioned when we were in that Marvel book, as far as the covers go, that there were some other covers that I did like, but they were tied to some incentive ratios. So that's what we have here. Avengers number 1. Apart from that pretty cool Vision, John Tyler Christopher, there's also pretty cool hidden gems. I didn't put it in here, but there's a hidden gems 1 in 50 as well, with Vision kind of coming out of a tombstone. Also kind of cool. But none of these are selling at a premium, so I'm not giving you any pricing information. They're either at ratio or less right now. But here is the Virgin version, Derek Chu art for Avengers 1, number 1 in 50. But if you don't want to pay the 1 in 50 ratio price, even under ratio price, you can get a regular cover price version with the trade dress right there. So that's probably what I might do if I get another book to tack on with the JTC, because I'm already getting the JTC. I don't know if I need extra Avengers ones, because again, it's Avengers 1. There's a lot of covers. There's a lot of versions. There's probably store exclusives out there as well. So incentives are going to be not too hard to find. But we do also have a 1 in 100, also has a virgin cover, pretty cool. I forget who did the art of this. It's like Kale, something. I'm drawing a blank. But if you like it, you don't have to pay the 1 in 100 ratio price. You can get the trade dress version for this as well, because there's a regular variant, cover price version for like $5. You can get this one. So there you go. You got another option. Much like you have yet another Derek Chu cover. He's been doing a lot of these 1 in 50s, but I think they're undercutting him by making it available as a regular cover as well. But here we have another one. Really cool. I do like this one. It's a pretty cool magic cover. I like with the limbo in the background. You got the sword kind of coming right at you. I like the perspective here. But 1 in 50 Virgin variant on XMen number 22. But there is a trade dress version, and the trade dress actually looks pretty nice too. Like the trade dress is not obtrusive to the art. I like how it's layered in there. I think this is fine. So I don't think I need to break out my wallet to go and get the 1 in 50. I think I'll be fine personally with the cover price version. But who knows? That virgin version has already got some pre-sales right around that ratio. Look, 45, best offer on $60, $70. So probably hit right around that $50 mark, maybe a little bit more. Asking prices, we'll see. Look, we got one up for bids. It's only at $10 right now, but it's got a couple of days left to go. There's $65 buy it nows. There's $120 buy it nows. We'll see where this one settles in once this hits Wednesday. But this has a potential to be an expensive cover come the end of the week. I don't know. Like I said, I like it, but I'm also perfectly fine grabbing that trade dress version. But we'll see. We'll see. Up next, we're going to go over to DC. Catwoman, I gave you the Asian American Pacific Islander variant, but there is also a Dan Panosian variant, and then there's also a 1 in 50 foil version of that. I like Dan Panosian. I like his art. I like his style. I don't care for this cover. I don't know. I don't like the idea behind it. Her just jumping off the roof with a whole bunch of cats, with a whole bunch of meows. I don't get it. Why are all these cats jumping off a roof? Where are they going? Why are they jumping off the roof with her? It's I don't know. Plus, you throw foil on this with this bright yellow, gets dulled out by that dull, like goldish type foil. Yeah, not for me. There's copies out there. It's under ratio. If you want it, they're there. This one I can pass on. I don't know. Like I said, hey, not every I like the artist. This just was not a hit for me, but maybe it is for somebody else. This one I found intriguing with Superman, this 1 in 50, because it's got like throwback kind of vibe. Like there's stuff going on. It's like the cover is telling a story here with the office office like hijinks going on here. So you got Lois Lane, editor in chief. I think it's kind of fun. But once again, this is still ratio or well under ratio. If you're interested, I'd be interested in this at like a $20 kind of price because it's 1 in 50. But yeah, it's kind of fun. Just kind of a fun cover. So some of these I like to show just because I like it because it's fun. A couple more. We're almost done. Another 1 in 50. So Batman, Superman, World's Finest 15. You've got Batman Beyond. Superman. I forget what is this. I forget the year. Is it Superman like 3000 or something like that? Crazy. Future, World's Finest, 1 in 50. This thing's actually pretty pricey. Pre-sales, $100. Best offer on $85. Asking prices on this one, $62 and then $125, $135. So, I mean, we'll see what happens come Tuesday, but some high asking prices on this one. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I kind of like this, and I like the kind of flip flop yin yang kind of a vibe we're getting here with Batman and Superman, light and dark. I dig it. That said, price is kind of steep, but who knows? Well, who knows? Maybe this will hold. Maybe this will be the darling variant of the week where people just start jumping at it. Now, the other option here is this one, which I'm sure, I have it as the main cover image. This is another one I think that was an easy layup as one that is probably going to sell pretty well. I think this is another Nathan Zerdy cover. So we have Rose Wilson, Batman, Brave and the Bold #1. This is the 1 in 50. Cardstock, thank you. It's cardstock. It's not a foil. Pretty cool. I kind of like it. Pre-sales, a little wide range here because we got $100 copies, we got $43 copies, we got $25 copies, and we got $90 copies. All pre-sales, all of these were back in April. So, like a month ago. No recent pre-sales. So, holding close to the vest as far as the actual sales go, because it's coming out Tuesday. We'll see where this kind of hits. But right now, the asking prices 75, 80, $100. So a lot of the asks are well above that ratio mark. So maybe that's why we're not seeing recent sales. It's because people are a little hesitant. We'll see. I mean, it's a new Batman title, Brave and the Bold #1. Could be plenty printed. They got a lot of covers already on the regular version. So shops are going to order a little bit more just to get all the different covers. But how many are going to qualify for 1 in 50? I don't know. But it's definitely one to keep an eye on. And this could be one of the books that is definitely, double ratio by the end of the week or selling in that $80 to $100. I won't be surprised if this is selling in that kind of like $80 range come the end of the week, which is well above that $50 ratio. So wouldn't surprise me if it does. But right now, we'll see. Looks like there's a pause because none have sold in the last like couple of weeks. Pre-sales, I should say, pre-sales. We'll see what happens come Tuesday. All right, one more book. 1 in 75 here. So very high ratio on a little side title. This is Dark Spaces. It should say Good Deeds, not Dude Deeds. Good Deeds #1. Few different covers on this one, but this is the 1 in 75. Virgin. No pre-sales. And I only found one out there. And they're asking double ratio at $150. This is like one of those ones I don't know if we'll see again. But it doesn't, just because we don't see many of them doesn't mean it has to be super valuable just because it's hard to find. I mean, it just has to be something more to it. Like this series has to hit in some way because there's a lot of weird titles that have ratio incentives that we know nothing about. But there has to be a reason to go back to go and get it. So we'll see what Good Deeds does. But Dark Spaces, Virgin variant, like I said, they say it's optioned. So maybe this will be something. I don't know. Who knows? Something to keep an eye on at the very least. We got that one copy out there. See if any more come to market because it will be a hard to find book, I think. Because I don't think a lot of places, option or not, are ordering 75 copies of this book. That said, that's all I got for you this week. That's what I'm keeping an eye on for you. Thanks for the support. Thanks for all of the kind words again in the comment section. I'm happy to hear criticisms as well if you got them. Feel free. Let me know in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Still got plenty more coming your way. This went a little longer than I had planned. But hey, come back a little bit later for Hidden Gems tonight. It's a regular run of Hidden Gems, not a special feature. And then I got Chasing Ghosts all set already for tomorrow. So with that said, also make sure you come back on Wednesday for the tax show. And you guys know the rest of the lineup by now. And I'm going to let you go because I've been talking for a while here by myself. So with that, see you guys later. All right, bye.